NASCAR drivers don't technically need driver's licenses to race in the series, but next year they may need their passports. Hi, I'm American Cars and Racing Executive Editor Gary Gastelou, and this is a car report. NASCAR President Steve Phelps recently told Fox that he'd be very surprised if next year NASCAR didn't go north of the border and south of the border. Now, he wasn't just talking about the NASCAR Canada Series and NASCAR Mexico Series that NASCAR oversees, but actually bringing Cup Series cars to race in both countries. Canada almost happened this year thanks to the demolition of the Auto Club Speedway in California, which is supposed to be redeveloped into a half-mile track, but the project's been delayed, so they had to find a new race to fill the slot on the calendar. Turns out NASCAR settled on having the first Cup Series race ever at Iowa Speedway, but it was in talks with Montreal about bringing the Cup Series to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve that Formula One uses. And it wasn't that far-fetched of an idea because the predecessor of the Xfinity Series ran at the track from 2007 through 2012. A deal couldn't be cut to make it happen in 2024, but it sounds like it is very much on the table for next year. And another option is the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park where the Truck Series ran from 2013 through 2019. Although the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve being located on an island right in the middle of Montreal does make it more appealing. As far as Mexico is concerned, Phelps didn't say it, but it sounds like the most likely option is that the season opening exhibition clash race would move from the LA Coliseum to Mexico City. The soccer schedule would likely make it tough for NASCAR to try to build a temporary track inside the Estadio Azteca, although it is one of the largest stadiums in the world, but Mexico City already has a racetrack. The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez also hosts Formula One and the NASCAR Mexico Series. And the Xfinity Series predecessor also raced there from 2005 through 2008. And if going to Mexico sounds like too big of a trip, it's actually a shorter drive from Charlotte to Mexico City than from Charlotte to Los Angeles. And there's another option along the way. Monterrey, Mexico isn't just the home of the first Mexican-born driver to win in the Cup Series, Daniel Suarez, but also home to the Autodromo Monterrey that the Mexico Series visits. And while it's not nearly as large as Mexico City, it's still one of the country's biggest urban centers. This, of course, brings us back to Southern California and what NASCAR is going to do there. And Steve Phelps said it will definitely be there next year. The only question is where. The short track in Fontana definitely won't be done in time for next season, and maybe not even in time for 2026. And there really aren't a lot of other suitable tracks in the region. So here's a couple of options. One is that NASCAR could tag along with IndyCar and IMSA at the Long Beach Grand Prix Street Circuit, which would keep it very much in the Los Angeles area. Or it can use the Irwindale Speedway half-mile where ARCA races, although it hasn't gone there before and doesn't really seem like it wants to. Track's not too far from Los Angeles. It only holds 6,000 people, but there is plenty of room to throw up some temporary seating, and it's race ready. But there is one wild card about 2 hours north of Los Angeles that's still technically in Southern California. Kern County Raceway Park in Bakersfield, California, is another half-mile oval that holds about the same capacity as Irwindale, but it's come under new ownership lately and been rebranded Kevin Harvick's Kern County Raceway. Again, it would need temporary stands to expand the capacity and is sort of in the middle of nowhere compared to these other options. But if NASCAR wants to stay in Southern California, it doesn't have a lot of options. Phelps didn't say when any of these decisions would be made, and NASCAR doesn't usually announce next year's schedule until late in the year, usually around playoff time. So subscribe to this channel and we'll bring it to you when we get it. But in the meantime, head over to AmericanCarsAndRacing.com every day for the latest automotive, racing, and NASCAR news.